You okay over there? You're okay over there, right?
I just drowned in water all over the place.
Oh. Oh, just in time. I went over there just in time. Well, I'm just doing a few things. Ladies and gentlemen, I went over there just. This is my special guest, Nancy Osborne. And I am very happy to have her. All right, here I go. Everything. So I got you on Facebook. I got all my pages open. Hi, Nance.
Hi, Kat. What a way to spend a lunchtime. Great.
You know, Nance, I think you're the first big band person I've had on.
Really?
Yeah, and all the people that I've had on, and it's cool. It's great, you know.
Well, I'm definitely honored. It was so nice of you to invite me. I saw you and I was complimenting you, never dreaming that I wasn't saying, yeah, I want an interview.
I know you weren't, but I've always admired your singing, and you know, so and this show really is kind of about the process of living as an artist. So, you know, it's all good, you know.
Well, it's been a challenging year and a half, that's for sure.
Yes, it has been. But you know, your life didn't just start this year, so so that's why it's fun to talk, because there's so much history, you know.
There is a lot of history. And I tell people, my parents never told me to get a real job. They just said, you're a singer. And so that's just what I've been doing forever.
That's so funny, because my mother and dad, my mother had been a singer. My dad was a sax player. I had two older sisters who sang. But, you know, my father was very excited that I had chosen to really be a professional singer. My sisters really had better voices than I did, but they went the straight life, you know. And but my father, I always joke, because my father never told me that I would have to be getting the gigs.
Yeah, right. They never taught you the business side of it.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I saw him do stuff, but I just, you know, I thought, okay, well, I'll be hired too, you know, like by the bands, but that barely happened, you know.
Yeah, any of that aspect of it never even occurred to me. It's just, they were just, you know, escorting me along to, you know, every talent show and things. And I came out here when I was 17 to sing with the Young Americans, and just, you know, kept auditioning. You know, we're always trying to get the next gig. That's what it's all about. And still at my age, I'm still looking for the next gig.
Yeah, I know.
So it never ends.
It never ends. But you were one of 7 kids.
7 girls.
7 girls.
No boys. And my dad was a singing chiropractor. What does that mean? He was an aspiring singer, and but had a family, so became a doctor.
Yeah, smart man.
And my mother played the piano and sang on the radio.
Oh.
So, but you know, having all these kids and living in Kentucky, they just did their job.
Yeah.
And, so
where were you in the ages?
Yes, when you're from a big family,
it's
always, what number are you?
Yeah.
And I'm number 6, next to the baby. So as the older sisters grew up, well, actually, My dad had three daughters from his first marriage, and he actually got the daughters in the settlement, and then met my mom, and they raised those three daughters and then had four more of their own. So we were not all together at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
But the youngest of those three sisters was also a professional singer. And as a little girl, I watched her be on stage and singing, being Liza Doolittle and being Anna and The King and I, and just like, oh, I wanted to do that. It just looks so fantastic and wonderful as a little girl looking at your big sister. So there was about 18 years difference with
Oh,
them.
yeah,
So,
that's quite a difference.
yeah. So she ended up being a music teacher, staying in Kentucky, got married, had her children. And so the four youngest of us, mother sewed really well. She made us matching dresses. We harmonized, and we were sort of daddy's opening act. And he actually built his chiropractic business a lot by going places, people inviting him to come and sing. But he would introduce us as not the Osmond brothers, but the Osborne sisters. And so
I know that all too. I can't believe that I'm actually talking to a person who had a similar thing, Segal sisters.
yeah, there you go.
Or Segal twins and Cathy.
Oh, they were twins. Hey, Cathy.
Yeah. And my sisters were always like dancing together, and I was like dancing with the dog. 'Cause I was like 4 years younger, it's like, but I know, I mean, gosh, all of those girls and singers all through there. I mean, I know how it felt to me to have, my two sisters and all of us singing all the time, and one played piano. So we just grew up singing standards, that's what we did.
Well, we sang standards that my mother could play on the piano. So we never got anything cool. It's like, wow, why didn't we sing Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy? We never knew about that. And my sister said, Mother couldn't play it on the piano. So we sang Sentimental Journey and Sweet Leilani and
That's so much fun.
But to this day, so the three oldest sisters were so much older, they've actually all passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
But the four youngest of us, when we're together,
Yeah.
are singing, even if it's just, washing dishes in the kitchen. We're harmonizing and come to find out, years later, all of our friends that grew up with us all wanted to be an Osborne sister.
I'm sure. I'm sure, because the singing really does tie you together. And, it's
I
just,
just thought all families sang.
yeah.
I thought all families got in the car and went on a car trip and harmonized, because that's what we did.
Yeah.
So, and Mother lived to be almost 96 years old. So and actually the year that she died, which was about 4 years ago, she was in a show.
Oh my God.
So, as she got older, she would just get raunchier and raunchier and just shock people with what she would say. It was so embarrassing. She was a little old lady, and she comes out with her feather boa and her walker, and she's like, okay, Billy Bob, I'm ready to do it if you are. I mean, that kind of thing. We're all just like, oh, Mother. But wherever she was, she would sing, and she would sing A Good Man Is Hard to Find, and just shock everybody. So
How fun.
it was fun.
Wow.
And
That's great.
it was Maysville, Kentucky,
Uh-huh.
and both of my kids were born and raised out here, and they've both moved to Kentucky. Is that amazing?
Yeah. Why did they move to Kentucky?
Well, they had such a relationship with it in the summer. They would go there for vacations, and my mother was still alive, and my sister and her kids were my kids' age, and they just had this relationship and sort of knew people. When my daughter was in junior high, she went to church camp in Kentucky, and she was the girl from California.
Oh.
So, here she was, just another beautiful blonde girl in California, and there she was. They'd say,
That's funny.
Are you Britney Spears? Are you Jewel? And when she did move there, she goes, Mom, I get at least one marriage proposal a day here. And
How cute.
so she's finally met her Prince Charming, and both of my kids. My son met his beautiful wife, and they're all from Kentucky, and now they all live there, and they're never coming
Isn't that
back.
interesting? That's interesting, huh?
Well, we encourage them to spread their wings and fly away, and then daggone it, they do.
Yeah.
So,
Kentucky, gosh, what's let's see. I had a friend this is just like, a throw-out thing, but I had a friend in college whose father owned a Army Navy store in Kentucky, and people used to come and look at them and stare at them because they were Jewish, and they thought that they had horns.
no.
Yeah, this was, of course, a long time ago, but yeah. But that's the only thing I have in Kentucky.
It's come a long way. Come a long way.
That's good.
My sister's last name is Goldman, so it's been accepted in Kentucky.
Yeah. Kentucky's really beautiful, isn't it?
I go back and I cry sometimes. It's so beautiful, and especially because it's so dry here.
Yeah.
Although it's supposed to rain tonight, I heard.
It's very gloomy.
And my arthritis aches, so I know that it must be it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
But I go back, and the lush green and the rolling hills and the trees, and it's just magnificent. And so with both of my kids living there, sometimes I think of maybe moving back, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't. I've been here since I was 17, so this is really.
it's hard. Yeah, I have a friend who was here. You might know her, Calabria Foti.
Of course, Columbia.
Yeah, so she has been here for maybe 40 years, 30, 40 years. They just moved to Tennessee, to Nashville.
Did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like 5 months ago.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And they could sell their house really well, good
Of
price.
course, it's a-
Buy like a bigger house for cheaper. And he's building like a whole new studio in his house.
Did
So
they have any connection to Tennessee?
not particularly. They know a few people, but not many. But they're both such good
Yeah.
professional
Top
musicians.
musicians. Yeah, they will definitely work.
Yeah.
The thought of going to Kentucky and trying to
Start again or something.
I never want to retire. I mean,
Yeah.
people would say retire. You retire so you can go do what you love to do. So,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I'm doing what I love to do.
I know.
I've always done what I love to do. So I'll never retire until they take that hook and go, she's going on the stage.
Well, your mother kind of like lasted, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I got another bunch of decades to go.
yeah. I have a friend, Colleen Riffo here, and her mother also, she was in her 90s, definitely. And she was,
Yeah, I know
doing
Colleen.
gigs.
I know Colleen.
did you ever know her mom?
Yeah, actually, they used to come to the big band and
Her
listen to
mom
the
was
big band.
very good singer.
Yeah. I met them. I believe I met them in Ventura.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
did
probably.
they live in Ventura?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
her mom was great.
Coleen's singing now too, though.
Yeah, she's a really good singer too.
Wow. No, it's a small world. Which that's the thing. We're all connected. We're all family. It's just and I love that actually. As controversial as Facebook is to some people, it's just brought us all together. And thank you, Cathy, for all these that pulling everybody through the pandemic when we were all stuck at home and just dying.
I know. I jumped on it very fast because I felt like there was a lack of something in my life, because I couldn't go out and sing or create stuff. So yeah, so it's been wonderful. I really have enjoyed it a lot. I've just it's great. You see, you really are part of a tribe
Oh,
across the
yeah.
planet, and that music. I think I spoke to someone the other day, and we were saying that music probably in America is taken for granted, but not in other places necessarily. But it's just kind of. But I think the pandemic, with all the music that's been online, I think people have kind of gone, oh, you know, yeah, music is pretty amazing.
Well, and how much they realized that they missed it and how
Yeah,
much they missed live performances. So this has been such a connection. And for people to see the entertainers and just have a casual conversation, to hear
yeah.
them. And one of the things, I don't know if you know that this is just kind of how I sort of survived the pandemic. I teach exercise classes. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah, you told me that.
And I've taught for probably 21 years and never thought that I would ever teach exercise classes. And I teach water aerobics. So it's like, God, I never thought I'd be let anyone ever see me in a swimsuit. But now you don't even care. And also I teach a senior chair fitness class. And so before the pandemic, I was teaching 15 classes a week. And
Wow.
then I can still do my casuals and my gigs and if I get a job, I can just get a sub to teach my class. So it's been very flexible and perfect for me.
Wow.
And I'm being paid to exercise, which with everything, all the gyms closed, all the clubs
Yeah.
closed, all the organizations, every job that I had planned for a whole year ended.
Yeah.
My sister said, you need to teach a Zoom exercise class. I was like, oh. I said, literally, I said this. I said, nobody wants to see my fat ass marching around on the computer. And those are my exact words.
However, apparently they did.
Well, apparently, he goes, yes, they do. They want to see you. They want to hear you. They want a piece of you. And
Is
I
it on a
just,
Zoom?
it's on Zoom. Mm-hmm.
So do people ask you questions, or do you
No,
actually?
no, they don't. They're not seen at all. So that's I call
Okay.
it glamour size. Get out of
Yeah.
your pajamas, put on some lipstick, and come and exercise with me. And so, but for the first 2 weeks, my other sisters, one sister's in Colorado, one's in New York, and one's in Kentucky. And they're all just home too. So I started teaching them because, of course, I had my routines and my music and everything. I just had to kind of set up. I got a really great microphone, and I first was clipping a light onto a step ladder. Now I have a good light, and I got blackout drapes and pushed my furniture back, and I did it. Teach 3 days a week still, and I'm back at some of the gyms, but very very little small classes, and I'm not teaching. I'm just teaching 5 classes at gyms right now compared to 15. So then I teach my Zoom class, and it's the best thing about it was preparing. And at the last 5 minutes of the class, I try to lead them in a 5-minute meditation and positive affirmations. And because it was scary there for a while. We're all just afraid to step outside that we might die. So I didn't let myself go. I had to lead all of these people
Uh-huh.
in positive affirmations and to get them going and motivate them and calm them down. And so I never turned on the television. I mean, I turned it on to watch Netflix or Amazon or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
but I didn't go into the news,
yeah,
just the whole, the election and
yeah,
the virus and just everything. I just couldn't go there because I didn't want to live in fear
yeah,
and project that to my students. So
yeah.
I ended up doing a few Zoom entertainment shows. Was kind of fun. And it's been a lonely it's been a lonely 2 years. And even now, I'm out, singing again, but still I come home and we're alone, and it's still that we're it's still very limited with how much we're going out. So it's just been, just breathe and we'll get through all this.
Yeah, I totally hear you, and I also feel like I read in one of my many books by my bed, um, that there were two emotions that all emotions come from. One of two emotions, fear or love.
Absolutely.
And I just totally loved that. I could really see that, and I really don't like to live in fear. I don't like that around me. So when something is happening like that, I'm very proactive and change it, you know. And music, of course, this show has really been
Oh, well, you
a
didn't have
blessing.
time. You didn't have time. You haven't had time to go into the fear mode. You had a show to do every day. Oh my
I
gosh. That's
know.
amazing. That's
Yeah, but there are
incredible.
those off hours, you
I
can do a
know.
little here or
Trust me.
there. But, I mean, and then, I was actually the first year I was doing a lot of work in the studio. So I was doing my own project, and I was also producing two people. And so that was pretty cool.
That's
And
great.
yeah, so I'm just, and I'm just not, yeah, I just don't like to go to the fear-based stuff. And even though I'm cautious, I know some people don't think I'm cautious. They don't want to hug me because I'm hugging everybody. So, but I haven't been sick,
I
you
know.
know?
I know. Knock on wood.
And so, anyway, that's like a
Well,
whole,
I think I read that same book about the love and fear because that is
oh,
they can't live together.
yeah,
So which one are you going to pick?
yeah,
And that's been what's kept me going. But I've always been like that. It's not
yeah,
just through the pandemic. I think that don't you think that singing, I mean, puts such positive endorphins in our body, and I'm a belter, so I sing out loud. I'm really loud. And so whatever tension, whatever is going on, I'm releasing it.
yeah,
And sometimes I think I'm the happiest person ever. Even though I'll cry,
yeah.
I it's like, wow, I'm just a happy person.
Yeah, yeah. Well, another one of those books. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
we should both write one.
I know. Well, maybe it's Eckhart Tolle even. Or,
Oh, yeah, I love
I
Eckerd.
followed different people online too, but I think it is Eckhart who says there is no good and bad. It's all part of the same cloth. This is the good part and this is the bad part, and it's all wrapped in. And I really like that too because it takes the significance away from the bad. It's like, yeah, it's all, especially when, and you probably know this because of meditating too. It's when you meditate, everything kind of quiets down and evens up, and you begin to see the world as just all these different qualities and parts of the world. So,
And especially during the pandemic
yeah,
where it was so quiet. It was so quiet. I didn't hear any traffic. I didn't hear, it was just wow. So you're so in touch with that inner energy and opening yourself and opening your heart and really connecting. It was because I go at a crazy pace.
yeah.
And so I'm kind of last week I did 3 shows and taught 10 classes.
Wow.
And then I have a sciatic problem down my legs. Like I still did all of that.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's just what I do. That's just who I am. So
Yeah.
I the pandemic had to make me slow
It
down.
was interesting. That particular time period was really like the first 6 months or something. It was a very interesting time. That was the most interesting time, you know. And
I started loving being at my house.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot more. So when things started opening up, it's like, oh, I have to leave.
Me too.
I just want to stay here and I'll just do my Zoom classes forever. I never want to leave ever.
I think a lot of people feel like that. Of course, now I'm just like totally back into the swing. I'm look at this. This is my.
You just have a new CD.
Yeah, I have a new CD.
Goodness.
And look at this is the dates that I'm going out to see music in October and November.
You go, girl.
It's like so many. There's so much music happening out there now. It's crazy. Last night I went to see that vocal group Sage. Have you heard about them?
No, I don't think so.
They're young women, they're not in their 20s probably. They're in their 30s.
But younger than us.
And they're part of a younger music thing coming up. And they're kind of like a soft girl Take Six group.
Ooh,
There's four of them, and they're each unique singers, by themselves. And Sarah Gazarek kind of put together the group. They write and they arrange, and it's it's very interesting, very different, and beautiful. So last night I went to see them. So
where were they?
They were at a club near LAX called Sam First.
Oh, and I don't know that club.
It's a jazz club. Did you ever hear of the Blue Whale downtown?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Blue Whale style place, kind of more modern jazz, and it's like literally walking distance from LAX.
Oh, great.
So it's really nice. I'm going there again tonight, actually.
Well, that it keeps you going, and it keeps new ideas constantly coming to you. There was a group years ago. I love to whistle.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And a lot of people, especially men, will say, "Wow, I never hear women whistle." And yesterday I went to the gym and I was just, I don't know, some song was in my head and I was singing it. And then when I went into the gym, I didn't want to sing. I started whistling. And the people that looked at me, the fact that I was even making noise and whistling, that was such an odd thing. But I heard years ago there was a woman's group that they whistled. That was it was, all these harmonies, and they were all whistling.
Oh.
And I've never looked into that. I never heard the recordings, but I heard that they had done them, and I need to look that up because I just think that's so cool. But
are you going to whistle a song for us? Or a line or two? Wow, that's good. I have another girlfriend, Gail Larone, who whistles as well. Maybe you two should hook up.
There we go. Actually, years ago, my kids were little. I went on. There was a new gong show, and I thought, because I could whistle and harmonize at the same time, and I thought that was really a unique talent, and that I should try it. I was home being a housewife, and I thought, well, hey. And I went and would you like to hear that?
Sure. Wow.
Anyway,
That's hysterical.
They didn't want me. They weren't interested in me.
Wow. I was on the Gong Show when I was
You were?
26 or something. I don't know how old I was, but I was with a small group. Boy, that was an interesting experience.
And were you trying to be funny, or were you trying to be serious?
I don't think we were trying to be funny. I think we were just there was two women and a guy, and he was kind of the lead. We were the backup. I don't think we were funny. I think we were just a musical group, and for some reason, they had us on.
Well, I guess they couldn't just do all joke stuff.
I guess not.
But I was trying to go as a joke. And, I figured, I could still, maybe get paid and make some money. They
Hey, we
were.
have Mark is asking what music do you have your students exercise to?
Uh, well, actually, I have some serious belting exercises. And years ago, when I did not know how to belt, I lost my voice because my voice teacher said, belt everything right at opening night. And I didn't know how to belt. So years later, I ended up studying with Lee and Sally Sweetland.
Oh,
And they were big,
yeah.
belters. And so, I do nice soft breathing exercises, getting the whole nasal cavity to warm up. But then I teach eventually the belting exercises, which has saved me, which I never go sing without doing my vocal exercises. Do you?
I practice every day. I'm working, as a matter of fact, my voice has been going through changes in the last year or two, and or longer. Anyway, I am taking lessons again, and I feel like my voice is going through kind of a major change. So I have to practice every day, very focused, so I can I can get it and understand it and find. It's very spiritual to me. It's really a growth, a particular spiritual growth to me. So yeah, I have to practice. I'm not one of those singers who can just. I mean, I can get up and sing, but if I have a longer kind of gig,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, there's no
Well,
way.
I wasn't really singing at all during the pandemic. So all of a sudden, when
Yeah,
I was back doing some stuff, it's like, whoa. Because if you're not belting all the time and doing those
yeah,
vocal exercises, if you don't use it, you lose it. That
yeah.
was definitely, I mean, it was like, oh yeah, okay, I still got it. Yeah, I can do this. But you were opening your mouth and going, oh, please, Lord, let those notes come out. And after all the years of doing it, those muscles do remember.
Yeah.
But and I think that's the main thing, trying to teach my students how important the vocal exercises are, because to be able to learn to belt properly and not wreck your voice,
Yeah.
it takes years.
Yeah.
Years. And you go through all sorts of transitions. And I was on the road right out of college. I was on the road with singing backups for an Elvis Presley imitation guy. We flew to Canada and met the band and met Elvis. And the insurance man gone Elvis. He glue on his sideburns every day and button his shirt, and he'd walk around with this gold chain stuff. And we were at all these ski resorts, and it's like the other singer. Sandy and I hated him. And anyway, because he really thought he was Elvis. And, Sandy had studied with the Sweetlands, and she did these incredible vocal exercises. Now, I had graduated from college. I had a music scholarship. But my degree ended up being in musical theater. And I didn't really know how to vocalize, to do the exercises properly.
Yeah.
And so I heard she was just such an amazing singer. And when we came back off the road, which we had to sue them because they stopped paying us, we were stuck in the snow in Canada.
Oh, God.
And but I came back and started studying with the Sweetlands, and just that was the gift.
Wow.
That was I teach their technique.
That's great. I believe he might have been talking about physical exercising,
Oh,
but that was a good.
well, physical exercises. Well, let's see. We'll do jumping jacks, sitting in
But
the
what
chair.
music? Thank you. What music do you exercise to?
Oh, what music do I exercise to? Not me. I don't play me. I play music that's 135 beats per minute. That's
Whatever it is.
yeah, whatever it is. And you know, it's kind of annoying because it's that beat.
Yeah,
They'll take a song that you know and they'll put it to that beat and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. But it has to be the beat.
Yeah. You know, what's her name used to have really good music. The actress Jane Fonda.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Great music.
She did have great
Like,
music.
you know, it wasn't that kind of, you know, dunk, dunk, dunk,
Yeah.
dunk, you know.
Yeah, she was the queen.
Yeah.
She was the one that started it all, really. But look at her now. I mean, she still looks amazing, and
Yeah.
I'm sure she's, you know, exercise is such a part of her life.
I'm sure.
And you know, especially when I started, I was doing the water aerobics, and I, you know, other than just playing in the swimming pool in the summer, I wasn't a swimmer. We didn't have swim teams or anything like that in Maysville, Kentucky. So
Yeah.
I twisted my ankle in a step class at the gym, and just as being an entertainer and dancing in lots of shows and stuff through the years, I knew I just had to do something. So I took a water aerobic class, and the instructor came up at the end of the class and she said, you should teach. She said, you're one of the few
Wow.
people that can do what I say do. I'm like, oh, I'm a singer and an actress. I'm not going to teach water aerobics. And she became one of my best friends, and I loved her class. And a couple years later, I got certified. Now it's been 21 years that I've been teaching.
Wow. I have a friend who I can't remember where she's from. She's from a southern state, and she lived here for a long time, and she moved up to up the coast here, and then now she lives in somewhere in the middle of the country. I can't remember exactly where, but she also has taught water aerobics for a long time. And boy, she loves it, and she loves teaching it. She loves doing it.
Oh, it's so fun. And you know what? I hate exercise, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But if it's fun,
Yeah.
it completely changes it. And I'm determined to have fun when we're doing it. And in my water aerobics classes, actually, we sing. I have them to sing. And they'll be, Nancy, when are we singing? Nancy, when are we singing? It's like, just calm down. We'll be singing. And we harmonize, and they're doing their, you know, it's fun.
Right, we have to tune into that. You'll have to tell us how to do that. I'm going to show you singing. I found it a real interesting thing, the swinging with Nancy, because it's kind of a lot of different examples of you, and I just kind of
Oh yeah, that's that is a real conglomeration of me.
yeah.
Mr. Sandman.
By the way, the Seagull Girls sang this song too.
Oh, you did.
Making the cutest I've ever seen. Give him two lips like roses.
I was in New
and
York
clover.
singing this.
And tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me up. Mr. Sandman, bring me dreams. Making the cutest I've ever seen. Give him the word that I'm not a rover, and tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. many of you have had a mother-in-law? Okay, now you might want to be a little discreet with this one. You might just want to think this answer. How many of you liked your mother-in-law? Okay, not every hand is raised. Well, virtually
I have to be discreet when I ask.
I'm sure you do, man.
And so I thought, my goodness. Once there was a wicked witch in the lovely land of Oz, and wickeder, wickeder, wickeder.
Oh, witch and mother-in-law. That
Yeah,
was
they just went together. It's what it came up for me. I've been told I shouldn't say that.
A cycle caught a house that brought the wicked witch down to her doom, and she was lying on her broom. And the house fell on her head, and the coroner pronounced her dead. And through the town the joyous news was spread. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, old witch, wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Wake up, sleepy head.
That's Linda Small in the band and
Oh,
Pete
really?
Priestley.
Oh.
They met on my recording gig.
You're kidding.
I always
Oh my
tell
God.
them when they have a baby, they have to name the baby after me because
Oh
if
my
it
God.
wasn't
Well,
for
I
me.
think they're past having a baby, but yeah. Well, you are just the cutest thing. I mean,
thank
you
you.
know, it's so great to see somebody sing this style with so much love and and professionalism. You're so good. You're such a great singer. Not only your voice, but your swinging and your everything, the professionalism, the standing there, the playing with the band, the speaking, the entertainment. I mean, it's really I don't see a lot of people doing this, So to see you do it so well is fantastic.
I've taken a lot of classes. And I can remember, and I don't know if you ever went through this, where they said, and you have to talk. Like, what? Oh my God, don't make me talk. Oh my gosh, what am I going to say? And now the next song, my favorite song is, and actually teaching all my exercise classes, little do my students know, but they have become my guinea pig audience.
Yeah.
And when I'm teaching, I'll be throwing out some kind of thing casually, just throwing it out. Sometimes they can hear it, sometimes they can't, but I have to entertain myself because otherwise I'll slit my throat. And and that's really helped me relax to be able to talk. I never tell jokes. Although yesterday I just I was getting ready to sing a duet with Bill Jones, and they were setting up with the band and stuff. So I just took the microphone and I said, there was this piano player in a bar, and this guy came up and he said, "Do you know the song That's What You Are?" And the piano player said, "No, I don't know that." Because everybody knows this song. How could you not know that song? And the piano player is like, "Well, could you sing a few bars?" And the guy goes, "Unforgettable, that's what you are." So I told them, that's the only joke I know. When we were getting ready to sing Unforgettable, that's how it triggered that. But I don't tell jokes or anything. I just talk about my crazy life and crazy upbringing. And the song, the Mr. Sandman, which I've kind of made it as my signature song, came from the fact that I sang with the Chordettes. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't. I mean, I knew it a little bit, but I don't think I was familiar with the Chordettes. The Young Americans I was familiar with, and you're part of that too.
Yeah, the Young Americans was when I was 17 and came out here to be
okay.
in California to sing with them. Oh, and let me just regress. My sister saw the Young Americans perform at University of Kentucky, and she came back to Maysville. I was in high school, and she said, "You are so perfect for this show, this group. And look, it says on the brochure that if you're interested in auditioning, you can write to them." Well, I didn't know who they were or anything, so my sister said it, so I wrote them a letter, and they said, "Well, wait till you're a senior in high school and write us again, and we'll send you our itinerary, and you can come on and audition." So the fact that I even got a letter from California, I thought that was so I saved it. And when I was a senior, I wrote to them. They sent me their itinerary, and the closest place was down in Tennessee. So Mother and I drove to Tennessee. I had to sight read. I had to play the piano. I had to sing. They didn't ask me to dance. But then I made the national auditions and flew to Chicago, and and I'm not a dancer. I'm a singer that moves well. But they said, "Does anybody dance?" And I'm like, "I do." And I got it and I tap danced, which I can't even believe. And I still got in the group. So for me to be right out of high school and boom, come to California. And, Cathy, it was the greatest thing because I met all these people that were just like me.
Yeah.
And they could sing and dance at a drop of a hat, but these people could sing and dance circles around me. They were incredible. I'll never forget one guy's like, "Do you want to hear the new opera I just wrote?" And this guy's like in high school. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we sit down and plays the piano. Anyway, it was just.
Gus, I think my friend Mike Campbell was in the Young Americans. You know him?
I think that name sounds familiar.
Mike Campbell, and I think his wife Elaine was in there, and I think that was the group. He met her there, and Sherry Williams. I feel like
Sherry Williams.
Yeah, she was in the group, right?
Not the time that I was in. So there was. You had to be 15 to 21.
Yeah.
Some people stayed just a few years, and some people stayed a long time. I ended up, Disney hired me, and so suddenly I was being paid to be in Kids of the Kingdom at Disneyland, which was sort of a teenage Mouseketeer type group. But because we were being paid, that meant I was now professional, and they wouldn't let me come back to Young Americans.
Interesting. I'm just turning off my fan because it's a little chilly in this room.
But having the Young Americans on my resume opens a million doors for me through my career.
Really? Like what?
Well, just the fact that that's how I got hired at Disneyland when they saw I was in the Young Americans.
Yeah.
When I got hired to be a Cordette.
So tell me about the Cordettes, because I'm not that familiar with the Cordettes.
Okay, well, the Cordettes, their big hit on the Arthur Godfrey show was Mr. Sandman.
Okay.
57 or something.
Yeah.
And they then did, the lollipop, lollipop, boom, lolly, lollipop.
So did they record that?
Yes.
Oh, so when I heard that song, that was the Cordettes.
They did a theme to Zorro. And so my version of Mr. Sandman is the stripper version, I call it. But I was actually singing with the Cordettes when I made that CD, and legally and stuff, they couldn't record with me. Anyway, all the original Cordettes are deceased.
Oh.
And we have owned, I say we, now I sub in the group, I'm not in it anymore, but this group has owned the name for over 30 years.
So if I went and looked for the Cordettes online, would I see you in the picture?
Probably not, because I'm not in it now, and I just think they have updated.
What about the old one, though?
Well, the old one is the original one that the ladies died.
Were you in that one?
No.
You were in kind of after. You were. I see. You were in the group.
I was in the group that owns the name now.
Oh yes, right. There are people.
And there have been lots of girls that were in it, and then they left, and they were children and couldn't be on the road anymore, and and I got in it, and I was in it for I think 8 years.
Yeah.
So, but when I left the group, really I started doing concentrating on just me performing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of in a group. So that was a good kick in the pants that I needed to do that. And I'd made my big band CD, and when it was mastered at Capitol Records, they said, "Oh, here's just the tracks without your voice on them, just the band. So you could go and do TV shows." And they're like, oh, "Yeah, right." and so someone said, "Oh, you should do a one-woman show and sing to your recordings." And since they were mine, I didn't feel like I was doing karaoke. If you own the recordings and you paid the band and you were in there with them, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I started writing a show, and so I do a show, not a dance, and it's really it's been so great, and I've traveled all over the place doing that, and so it's a sit-down audience, and they sit there and listen to me, and it's affordable because I'm doing it to tracks.
Yeah, interesting.
Organizations can hire me, and usually it is like private organizations that want entertainment for whatever venues. So that's been a...
Do you feel at all, I mean, does it feel a little odd to have no musicians with you?
It did in the beginning.
Yeah.
And now I've done it enough times that, as a matter of fact, it was really weird. I was doing a show in Indiana, and in Michigan and Indiana. I was on the road, and so my mother and daughter drove up from Kentucky to see my show in Indiana. And my mother said, "Well, shouldn't you just at least have a piano on stage with you and someone playing the piano?" And I said, "No, Mother, that's, I don't use a piano. And it's just the music. And I was standing in front of a big curtain, and it's just me." And after the show, she goes, "It wasn't weird at all. Because if you command the stage and you're talking to the audience, their focus is on you. It's not on..."
Yeah. I think the curtain actually makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because...
And there isn't always a curtain. Trust me, there'll be a big clock behind me and some doors or stacked chairs. I've been in some places like, that's you. Maybe fixed it up a little bit.
Welcome to the life of a singer, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you want me to change there?
Oh, God. Oh,
Did you move some of the food over?
One time I remember I was in Japan, and my piano player and I and the booking person, we were on the road hurrying to the gig, and it was a horrible, it was almost a tsunami.
Oh my gosh.
Get to the place, we're late, but we have to change. So both of us are in this attic space or something where you can't stand up. Both like lying down on whatever we were lying down, changing our clothes, underwear and all, Yeah, I remember that one. And then you come out.
Ta-da! Isn't it funny? And people don't even question that. They have no idea. I'll never forget on the road with the Cordettes. I believe we were someplace in Pennsylvania, this beautiful old theater. And we actually had a dressing room. And when we came back, someone had stolen our bras. Is that weird?
Very weird.
Weirdos out there.
That is really weird. Well, I have a question from Mark Baldrige. He said, "What do you look for when you choose songs to perform?"
Well, a lot of it is in my key. I try to find a song I can relate to, so I can tell a story about it. And maybe it's a famous recording that Peggy Lee did.
Yeah.
For
Hmm.
example, I sing "He's a Tramp." Well, Peggy Lee not only sang that song in "The Lady and the Tramp," but she also wrote it. And
Oh.
then I have actually some stories about Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
And so I try to find something, and I'll look up information about it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and then I tell a little story about that, not just like, well, it was written in 1954
Yeah.
and produced by so and so. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
sorry to say that, but that they want to know.
Yeah.
They want to know about the song or about you and how you relate to the song.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of it, and just trying to find, okay, I need another fast song. There's so many slow songs. Or how many times I've been to the venue. There was a place down in La Jolla that had me to come there 4 times a year. And so I had to continue. I couldn't just do my big band CD show.
Yeah.
I had to pull stuff, out of everywhere
Yeah.
to put a show together. And so I did have to reach into the karaoke pot,
Yeah.
which was originally against my religion. But, they kept wanting me. They kept paying me. They'd have me come down. They'd put me up for the whole weekend. And it was like a little vacation in La Jolla, right on the beach. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Hey, Cassie Miller Thornburg says hi.
Oh, good. And you and Cassie, apparently, I didn't know you were in the Red Hots with her.
Yes.
That's so great. Loved Red and the Red Hots.
Yes, Cassie was my mentor.
Oh,
Yeah, she had been in, she was Red's like adored favorite, So, yeah.
so amazing. And Cassie and I, it's really interesting. We've had really similar careers. We were both in the Young Americans.
Oh, I didn't know she was.
And then we were both in Kids the Kingdom at Disneyland.
Oh.
And then we both ended up being Slue Foot Sue. She was Slue Foot Sue in Japan. I was Slue Foot Sue here at Disneyland.
Oh.
And then we both ended up being big band singers.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, we both didn't get to marry Lee, her husband.
Thornburg, yeah, I know. And I guess both of you
Why?
didn't get to sing with Perry Como.
And she did get to sing with Barry Como.
Yeah, yeah. I remember her telling me about that. Like she was basically singing some of his high notes.
Oh, wow.
That was pretty cool.
Wonderful, and I love her so much. And we both actually, it's because of Cassie, another job, because we multitask and do a million different things, is we sell an anti-aging skincare. And
I do the same. It's Rodan and Fields, right?
yeah.
I do that. My niece got me into it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing products. And Cassie
Yeah.
introduced it to me, and I thought, well, gosh, I highly respected her.
Yeah, and she's so
Using
beautiful.
it and loving it and selling it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Because I didn't want to sell anything.
Yeah.
I did need some help with my skin, and started using the products, and boom, it's been wonderful. And I've been doing that for 8 years, selling it.
No. Oh, I never sold it, but I've been using it probably 8 years or
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I have Cassie to thank for that. And
Oh, I'm
Cassie,
sorry. Cassie said the high notes were for Andy Williams.
oh.
I'm sorry. I got my information confused in my head.
Yeah, it was so great that she got to sing with both Perry Como.
No, she has a beautiful voice.
She's
So
amazing.
beautiful. Yeah.
Amazing. I've admired her for so many years before we even met. And when we finally did meet, finally did meet, I was like, we've done this together, we've done that, we've done this, but never at the same time. So it's just interesting how our lives paralleled so much.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes,
just,
Cassie, we love you too. She said she loves us both for mentioning her.
oh.
Yes.
And they moved to Florida.
No, I did
Yes,
not know.
they've moved to Florida. Yeah,
When?
last over during the pandemic last year.
Oh, what part of Florida? Do you know?
Uh,
Cassie, you can tell me.
Cassie, is it Del Rey or um,
Wow, I had no idea.
yeah, yeah, and a beautiful house. And
Oh.
she posts all the time pictures of rain, which is like, wow, rain, rain.
Wow, that's cool, Cassie. I'm so glad for you guys. That's really nice. Is Lee playing in Cuban bands? Any Cuban bands? By the way, Nora Paradis is on the YouTube chat, and she's making comments. And she went to the University of Louisville, and she loves Kentucky. And she said you're a great whistler, and she's shows, and she loves you. And she's in love with Mr. Sandman, and she sees you in a classic movie.
Oh, that's funny. Years ago, and as we struggled through our careers, and years ago, probably like 10 years ago, one of my friends' moms said, I've got the perfect. I know what you should do. And I was like, what? She goes, you should have your own TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just make that happen, Nancy. You know who actually you kind of remind me of, as far as your bubbly personality and your talent, is Marilyn King. And she
Oh,
did have her own TV show. She had,
did
and yes, she did. She was a comedian, and she was a great dancer. She had really long legs, great singer. I really loved her, and she loved
Marilyn
me. We
of
were
the of the King sisters, that Marilyn King. I didn't know
yes.
she had her own show. Well, I thought she was hilarious, and I told her one time. I said, "When I grow up, I want to be just like you." She really liked that compliment, but she came. I was singing with the big band alumni when Randy Van Horn was the
I
band
sang
leader.
with Randy Van Horn.
And so she
Oh, yeah.
came in and she introduced him as Randy Van Horny. And I thought that was so funny. And he did not like that at all. And she's like, can I sing a song? Can I sing a song? He goes, one song. That's all you can sing. One song. And she came up, she brought a song that actually Jack Fearman had arranged, and it was a medley of 7 songs.
Oh.
But I just thought she was so funny and wonderful. And so through the years, she would appear and we would talk and hug and you need more lipstick, Nancy. That was and I went to her funeral.
Me too. I was there. Wasn't that a nice funeral?
Lovely. The video and everything that they did for her. It was just
Yeah. She was a really nice person. She was what you want to think entertainers are, like really big-hearted and having a good time and professional, and yeah, she was really a cool person. I was sad when she went. Yeah.
Yeah, I was too, and she had put together sort of a King Sisters
Yeah.
group with her daughters and granddaughters or cousins or something, and they were still performing just as a quartet.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, she lived at Horse Height.
Yeah.
What would you call it? Horse Height
States.
States. Yeah, yeah. And
I have a friend who lives, well, 2 friends who live there actually.
she was, Gary Herbig's actually still lives there.
Oh, 3 friends.
Mhm.
Karen Hammock, piano player, and Judy, oh gosh, I forgot her last name. But she actually used to lead a singing thing at the Jazz Bakery when it used to be in Culver City. Judy, her last name is right on the tip of my tongue. And it was like people just come and sing together. It was really nice.
What was that? Ruth Price. Whatever happened to Ruth Price?
She's still around, and the Jazz Bakery is still around.
What?
Yeah, but it's been moving around since the bakery got sold, to somebody else. So it's been moving around, and now it's at, is it the Mancini? I think it's over on the west side. There's a school, a special arts school, and they have a very nice auditorium. It's not really an auditorium, it's a theater. And so they'd been they'd been having the Jazz Bakery there. And then, of course, the pandemic hit, and so it kind of threw it off. But yeah, she's
that's
still
great.
there. I saw her recently. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'll have to look
Did
that
you ever
up.
see videos of her singing? Like,
Well, I remember her singing actually at the Jazz Bakery that when it was
Really?
at the Helms Bakery. I seem to remember her getting up and doing a couple of tunes. 'Cause that
wow,
was that had to have been
it was a long time ago.
more than 20 years ago.
Yeah, but she really sung and danced like in
I
the
didn't know.
50s.
I guess. Wow.
Yeah, and there is video on her, and she was great. She was a really great jazz singer. She had, of course, great time because she was a dancer. Herb Alpert School of Music. Okay, Roland. Yeah, not the Mancini, but Herb Alpert. But yeah. Anyway, but she's still around, and I keep wanting her to be on this show, but she's evading me.
Else you should have on the show is, and maybe you have, but Dawn Peak. Do you
Who's
know
Don
Dawn?
Peake?
Dawn Peak was one of the gosh, the Wrecking Crew. He was part of the Wrecking Crew, and he's one of the last living survivors of the Wrecking Crew. And the Wrecking Crew
Does he
did
play?
all the what?
What does Don Peake play?
Guitar.
I can't believe I don't know his name. I mean, you actually reminded me I should have Tom Tedesco on.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
that's a
so,
no-brainer, actually.
and it was his dad.
Yes.
And so Don was in, I don't remember how many years he was in the Wrecking Crew. And how I met Don was I was singing at a funeral. And he came up to me and started talking to me after the funeral and said that, invited me to come and sit in with his band. And so I did. And then we ended up, I sat in several times with his band, and he ended up saying, you should put a show together. And I did a show at Catalina Jazz Club with him, and he said, we need to go in to a studio and record this because it was such a success. So we did. So I have my jazz CD, which after being a big band singer and then to go and do a jazz CD and sing soft songs and stuff, it was so hard. And I love that CD, and Dawn helped produce it.
Now, I would play that, but CD Baby sometimes will take me down, and I saw it's on CD Baby because I checked that out too. I wanted to play that. Yeah, but
Yeah, it was a wonderful challenge. And I, when I hear it, because we don't really listen to ourselves, and so when you listen to yourself, you're usually listening and critically, because that's just
yes.
what we do. And I'll listen to it, it's like, wow, who is that? Because I did stuff out of the box, like I did Wichita Lineman,
Cool.
which for a woman to even sing Wichita Lineman is, so if you can ever get your hands on that, it is on iTunes.
I know.
And,
we can go have a listen to something anyway. But by the way, Cassie lives in Naples.
oh, Naples. Okay. That whole, general area. That's right, Cathy. And I'm going to come and see you.
All right. So, I noticed it's this one, right? I mean, this is the record, or is it
That's the
a
big
different
band
record?
CD. No, I don't have anything on
Oh,
with the jazz CD.
Oh, here's another great singer, Bonnie Bowden.
Oh yeah, Bonnie's great. She's wonderful. And yeah, when I through CD Baby, I checked all the boxes for my big band CD. So I'm on Spotify and all these things. So I'd get a check. It was like 2 cents here, 1 cent there. I was like, what is this? So I didn't check all the boxes for the jazz CDs. Therefore, you can't find it on YouTube.
Oh, I guess not.
But,
Guns N' Roses did Wichita Lineman. Wow. I'll have to hear that sometime.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great. You just change the words a little bit, and it becomes a whole different interpretation of the song.
I'd like to hear a little of this. Do you mind?
No, go right ahead. Band. I was doing a show with.
Sorry, what did you say?
This is a tribute to Benny Goodman.
Okay.
The angels sing sweet song. You speak, and the angels sing. Or am I reading music into every word?
You know, believe it or not, I heard one note that sounded like Rosemary Clooney. Did you listen to Rosemary Clooney?
Well, she's from Maysville, Kentucky, the same place that I'm from. So, yeah,
Oh, well, see, there you
I
go.
adored. You know, there's different singers that sort of feel a little bit from this and a little bit from that. And definitely, I guess I've stolen some.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you when I'm playing. What did you say?
This was done at the McCallum Theater in Palm Springs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, John, for being here with us.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually videotaped. That was videotaped from a telephone. So it's a little.
Right. You know, you must have a lot of costumes.
Oh my God! When I was trying to find a place to buy and to move into, it was all about closet space. And you have your different dresses for when you were fatter and different dresses when you were skinnier and in between. And then some of them, you just want to burn them. You've worn them so many times. And it's for different audiences all the time. So they haven't seen them.
Yeah. And gloves, you wear gloves?
Gloves and matching. I had green gloves. When I bought that dress, I already had green gloves. I mean, who has green?
So when you were coming up, who were a few of your favorite singers to listen to?
Well, in my teens, actually, everybody else was listening to rock and roll, and I was
Yeah.
listening to Liza Minnelli and Bette Midler. And eventually, I loved Ella Fitzgerald and Edie Gourmet and Peggy Lee and Anita O'Day, and of course Rosemary Clooney, and and I didn't start singing with big bands until in the '90s, actually,
Oh,
and in the early '90s. I was singing at Disneyland, and one of the girls said, Nancy, Judy Wallace, and her husband was, I can't think of her husband's name, but he was the head of the Orange County Musicians Union. And he had a big band, and she was singing with it, and she started singing with the Modernaires, and she couldn't do her husband's gigs anymore. She goes, Nancy, you can do this. So she literally said, come and tape record me.
my charts. Yeah.
Right, which she didn't give me any charts,
Yeah.
you know. They were her charts. But
Which
I
is
could
probably better, right? Because you learned it. You really learned
I
it.
just had to learn it by
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah.
And so I started singing with that, and that's how it all happened. That was like in 1991.
Yeah.
And then once you suddenly, then suddenly someone says, "Oh, I have charts. You want to buy a chart or here?" And people give you charts, and suddenly I had a book, and I only had 18 songs, but that was a night's worth of.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
And now I have hundreds.
Do you still carry charts, or do you
Well,
send it?
I do carry charts because I have some that were made just for me, and that's really important for me to do my stuff, not just
Yeah.
everyday whoopee chart that's been made.
Yeah.
We still know those, but
Yeah.
it's nice to feel like you're a professional and you've had someone to make your charts. For
Yeah.
example, the Mr. Sandman chart.
Yeah.
Paul McDonald has done a lot of my charts.
Oh, yeah.
Paul's so talented.
Yeah.
And I gave him the Mr. Sandman and gave him some suggestions of what I wanted, and then he just made it phenomenal. And so it's important to carry your own charts. Right now, I mean, I've got they're in heavy suitcases that I can't even lift right now. So I really need to go through and just pull 20 charts,
Yeah.
and which is still heavy.
Yeah.
So, but it's also fun to go in and do what you do, which is just off the top of your head and just jam and jazz, and you never know what's going to come up and how you're going to sing it and how you're going to end it. And when I do those jobs, it's just so stimulating. It's so
Hey, I know what I'd like to talk to you about a little bit. I don't think many people actually think about this, except for singers and and maybe some band leaders. But there's there's kind of not, I don't want to say rules, but there are some guidelines when you're a big band singer, right? As opposed to a small group singer. Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah. Well, it's such a big band. You can't just improvise thinking the band's going to follow you. You have to know the song. You have to know when you're going to come back in, and basically how it ends. Now sometimes, like for example, Tuesday, I'm singing now every Tuesday morning with the Big Band Alumni, which I used to sing with that band years ago, and I'm singing with it right now. That's the band that Bonnie Bowden sings with.
Right. Isn't it over in Reseda now?
Well, no, we're in Canoga Park Elks Lodge, on 11:30 and 1:30, 11:30 to 1:30 on Tuesday mornings. We won't be there October the 19th, though. They're doing a blood drive that day. but Bonnie's not comfortable with being out in public with COVID.
Yes.
Now. So
Is Bill singing?
Bill's doing it. Mm-hmm.
He's a great singer too.
Bill's so great, and I've sung with Bill for years. So and Bill, when I was singing years ago with big band alumni, I brought Bill into that group.
Yeah, he's really got a nice voice, and he's charming.
Oh, he's charming. The women love him. They all melt. One lady,
as my girlfriend said the other night at my jam session, this guy got up and sang, and she says, "Somebody's going to get pregnant tonight."
Well, on Tuesday, this lady at our table, she bought Bill a hamburger. She goes, "Oh, this hamburger." And I'm like, "My chopped liver?" Like, oh.
Funny. Oh God.
Nobody's buying me a hamburger.
That's funny. That's so funny. Well, okay, but getting back to the big band singing, but what I found was singing with the big band, it's okay. I can sing straight, but I am so much better when I'm not straight, when I can phrase how I want and change a note and, and I found that I didn't feel like that was serving the big band music if I did that.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a singer that I'm not going to mention the name, but would try to do that. And it's just like, you can't. The band's not going to follow you.
Yeah, yeah. So there's this kind
and
of...
the band leader's like, God, just sing the freaking song.
Yeah, yeah.
And as you become really comfortable with that song,
yeah,
can all of a sudden now, like maybe during an instrumental part, I'll scat.
Yeah.
Because I know where it is. I know
yeah
what's going on. So then I can, but that's taken years to feel, going out of the box. As it is just as a musician learning to read the notes.
Yeah.
I had to learn to learn how to phrase instead of just reading the notes.
Yeah.
Oh, holy night, the stars are... Because that's when you're singing, you're singing in a choir, whatever, you sing the notes instead of, oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. I don't know why that song came out. But sometimes I've been a guest speaker for kids in high schools and stuff, and I'll try to show them the different ways that you can sing a song. And so you could sing it with a country accent. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. Or you could sing, oh, holy night, the stars are bright. Or, oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. And to teach, and kids are like, wow, thought of that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Just showing people how, different, and that's with music. And I have friends that do voiceovers and cartoons and stuff. It's like that, and how they could take a line and turn it into some kind of cartoon voice. It was like, oh, that never occurred to me. I don't know how to do that.
But you probably could.
I could.
Yeah.
It's just that's not my genre.
Yeah.
And but it's just it's funny how one little line, how you could take it so differently.
Yeah. Obviously you never thought about doing anything else for a living, right? Never, probably.
Never. And trust me, through the years I've dated men that said, you should get a real job.
Really?
You should sell real estate. If you were an elementary school teacher, you'd have benefits and you could retire. And it's like, I don't want to sell real estate. I don't want to be a school teacher. This is what I do. And so we'll do other things to support that, but I didn't want to. I mean, if I was a school teacher, that would take my attention away too much from being a singer. How do you have the energy? So, yeah, when I was out of college, you know, I was waitressing like everybody else, and then I'd get a show. Disney would call me in to do a show, and I'd do that show until the season was over, and then I'd do that show part-time and come back and waitress 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's how my life has always been. And always, it was always about the next gig. When, before I married my first ex-husband, I've just had two. And, but I was auditioning for a cruise. I just got a call at the last minute. They said, oh, they're doing Hello Dolly. They're looking for a dolly and you should come down and audition. So I just went to the audition and I got a call back and I came home and he's like, where'd you go today? I said, well, I went to an audition for Hello Dolly and I just got a call back and to go on a cruise. And he flipped. He's like, I thought we were getting married. Like, well, we are. But this is what I do. And it was always about looking for the next job. That didn't mean I wouldn't be married. Anyway.
But you married him anyway, right?
I married him anyway. I didn't go to the callback. And yeah. But, you know, he wasn't involved in the entertainment business. So he just didn't understand.
Yeah.
So when you keep saying no, when you get called for things, no, I can't. And then started having children. So there was 10 years that I pretty much just dropped out. I had a church singing job, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And so that, and I got to stay home with my kids.
Yeah.
Which I'm so blessed. I don't know if you know this also. So my daughter, she runs her own esthetician business in Kentucky. In Georgetown, Lexington areas. And my son, the doctor, my son, the tattoo artist. My son is the most amazing tattoo artist. One of the top tattoo artists in Southern California, who now lives in
Kentucky. Wow.
James.
Do you have a tattoo?
That's usually the next question. And no, I don't.
Okay.
And I was like, well, maybe eyeliner. And he's like, Mom, I'm an artist. I'm not going to do eyeliner.
If I go through Kentucky, I'm going to have him.
Well, he is jamesspencerbriggs.com. I mean, when you see his work, it's
I'm going to have to.
And I don't even like to
look at it.
Oh,
as long as we're talking about it, you know.
James Spencer Briggs. He's just
James Spencer Briggs. Okay.
Every mother's dream.
Oh, look at it already. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my
That's
God.
my favorite. That's a guy in Kentucky that had his own, you know, he loved his cow and pig and his barn and the skull and the astrological stuff and corn and he would tell Spencer kind of things that he wanted. So Spencer then designed it. Isn't that amazing?
That is gorgeous.
Isn't he incredibly talented? And he only does black.
Look at that.
I know. It's phenomenal.
Wow.
And he's just opened his own studio now in Paris, Kentucky. Not Paris, France, unfortunately.
That is.
Yeah, and he really does with the contour of the body and the skin and the muscles. Isn't that amazing?
I may have to go.
Yeah. So if you did want a tattoo, you would
look at that in the armpit area. Wow.
Yeah. You would want it done by the most amazing person. And it's my son. Look at that.
That's the most gorgeous tattoo artistry I've seen.
That's the nipple. That little pink.
Oh, wow.
I think
really.
that. Mm-hmm. gnarly toenails, and that's a very tender spot because that's all bones.
Oh, that is really tender. I have a tattoo, but this was from, when I was 21, and it's on my tush, and
Okay.
nobody really ever sees it except my husband, so.
What is it?
Oh, it's like 3 stars on a stem, like a little flower.
There you go.
I think. I haven't seen it for a while because, I just don't look back there very much, But I would like something artistic, maybe not quite this big, but,
Well, he has such a following that he hasn't come back during the pandemic, but he has such a following that he does come back to LA because he's still got a lot of projects.
I can imagine. Oh my God, that is gorgeous.
Isn't it lovely?
Wow.
Isn't it just lovely? And as a matter of fact, when he first became a tattoo artist, I'd never even talked to someone that
Was he an artist already?
he was always an artist.
Yeah.
Child. And I'm a Sagittarian, and so is he, and I'm actually an artist, but not now compared to him. I'm just like it's a little hobby for me. But we would do a lot of, and my daughter actually, she's very talented artistically also.
Look at that.
Yeah. He just,
Oh my
his friends
God.
were other kids that like to do art. And he's 6'4", and people are like, wow, you must play football. He's like, no, he wasn't into sports at all. He is an artist. And I kept saying, Spencer, you have to do your art. And he goes, no, Mom, I've seen how you've struggled, and I'm going to get a real job. And when he was 18, he'd met a 19-year-old who'd paid $50,000 in cash that year. And he said, hey, Spencer, he goes, I can show you how to do this, and you can apprentice under me.
Wow.
And Spencer just took off. And look, and so now...
Okay. I won't spend too much longer, but I'm actually going to send this to my husband so he can actually look at this because
Yeah.
you won't believe this.
I know. Isn't it incredible?
Wow.
Yeah, my kids are just great. I'm so proud of them.
That's really, truly gorgeous.
And he thanks me. He's like, thank you, Mom. He used to say I taught him everything, but trust me, he's way past me.
That's really something. Wow. I'm very impressed. That's gorgeous stuff. Yeah.
He was just when he was, I think, like first grade or kindergarten, they came home, they made paper bag puppets, and it was just brown paper bag, and he made Elvis, and his thing was like Elvis had the curl here, so just little details that he would see as a child. His second grade teacher came in, she said, I think he's ADD. She said he's either ADD or gifted. So they did a whole test, and she came back like, oh, yeah, he's in the top, 99 percentile. And I sat on the floor in the kitchen and drank a beer. But he's still ADD, which I probably am too, because we're artists, and that's
I know. I always said
ADD.
it's a good thing that nobody in our day took drugs for ADD. Because then some of the geniuses probably wouldn't have occurred.
That's right. That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares about it? ADD. Come on, just develop it.
Yeah. And he's so talented. It's just great. And his wife is so supportive of what he does, which is fantastic too.
Yeah.
So he got a good one.
Yeah.
But at least he comes out here and does his clientele.
This is exciting. I don't know. Maybe for my 70th birthday in a few years, I'll get a tattoo.
There you go.
A great tattoo. But where am I going to get it? And what kind of a jazz tattoo could I?
Yeah. Well, you would talk to him about it, and then he would, look up some of your ideas, and then he would design it. Because he just does custom work.
Yeah.
I don't know if people ever come in with a design and ask him to copy it. I don't know if
I wouldn't do that anyway.
I don't think he does that anymore.
Yeah, he's obviously an artist.
And he has such a waiting list that when he's designed something and they come in and are like, well, that wasn't really the kind of geisha girl I was really picturing. He's like, okay, you can go to somebody else. And they're like, well, no, well, I've been waiting 4 months and go on. And then they end up loving it. And yeah,
He must get stars wanting it too, doesn't
yeah,
he?
he's done a lot of stars.
Yeah.
And he just did a tattoo on Allison, my daughter, and she just wanted a shell. It's like a little shell down on her ankle, and it's a most amazing shell. It's not just a shell. And it was funny that she wanted a clam shell. I don't know, just
To remind her of California, maybe.
well, California and Little Mermaid, and she's from that whole generation. And I think clamshell meant something spiritually. I don't remember, but he did just an incredible job, and that was her birthday present.
Oh, that's so
So
nice.
it's nice that they're near each other and can.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. I
So,
know if you move there, you're going to have to like whip up some work there,
well, if they ever have children, maybe I would consider. I don't know. I
It's
just
hard to imagine. My husband and I, our kids, well, his kids, he's my second husband, and he had two beautiful grown-up daughters when I married him. But but now they're grandchildren, and everybody really likes to be close. But we've talked about, moving out of California. I mean, I haven't, but he has. California, there's certain things that are annoying, but yeah, I mean, he's from here, so he doesn't want to go anywhere like that has serious cold. So that rules out a lot. And he also wants to be near the ocean. Okay, so now you're ruling out a lot more, And then the kids have to, they'd kill us if we moved far away, so now you're ruling out some more. So I'm not sure what will happen, but
I never thought my kids would ever move to Kentucky. When Allison, she moved there
that
first. She
must
goes,
have been
Mom,
really
she was like,
surprising.
I can afford to live here.
Yeah.
And that was, she was in her 20s and was living with a girlfriend and her sister, and she and her girlfriend were sharing the master bedroom.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. It just, well, who wants to live like that? She's had the most amazing places that she's lived in Kentucky, that she's got such a great eye for decoration. And so now she and her husband, they're saving up to buy something, but it is so much,
More
what you get for
reasonable.
your money.
Yeah. My friend Bob Moses, who's a really great drummer, and he's lived in Boston forever. And finally, he's just wants to get out of Boston. So he is moving to Memphis, where he's sharing a whole house the whole house costs $700 a month. So it's, wow, that's like when I was when I was in college, it was probably cheaper even, but God,
Crazy.
$700 a
Whole
month.
house.
Actually, the old days in LA, now that I think about it, $700, that was an apartment. But, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, wow. It's just great. I can remember my splitting rent and and it was a 2-bedroom apartment, and my half was $275 a month in North Hollywood. Oh, good old days.
Good old
That wasn't rent control or anything.
So, oh shit. I think my question went right out the window, but
Well, I've got some things coming up.
okay, thank you. You really
October.
should be a host of a show. Yeah,
I should have my own TV show.
good. You should have your own TV show.
Um, October the 17th,
Okay.
the Thousand Oaks Street Fair.
Street
And
fair. Okay.
they close off Moore Park, which is the street,
Yeah.
the town of Moore Park, the street of Moore Park in Thousand Oaks. And of course, last year it was closed because of the pandemic. So they're doing it. It's back this year, and they, people bring their artistic things. They have their booths and sell clothes and
Are
cool.
you doing it with a band?
So yes, the Harry Selvin Big Band that Bill Jones and I both sing with
Oh, okay.
will be performing there. They bring
Oh,
out they set up a stage outdoors, and they have a little canopy where people can sit in the shade
great.
and come and hear the music.
What
And
time?
it's usually from 2 to 4.
Okay.
And I've been doing that every year since 1999.
Oh, wow.
So it's become it's a fun outing, and people
Yeah.
sit there and enjoy it. It's free and outdoors, so people will have a sense of safety.
Yeah.
And then that band also, as of November 1st, which is the first Monday of November, we haven't been doing this all through the pandemic, but the Palm Garden Hotel, which is in Thousand Oaks, we're going to have the big band dance night, which will be the
Oh,
first Monday. It's always the first Monday of the month, but of course we haven't been doing it for a year and a half. But we're starting back November 1st.
oh,
And
great.
that's Harry Selvin Big Band. It's $10 to get in, and a big dance floor, and people love it.
The Palm, what?
Palm Garden Hotel,
Palm Garden Hotel. And what time is that?
7 to 10,
Oh,
and it's $10 to get in, which is such a deal.
such a deal.
And um, they they used to serve dinner. The bar will be open, I'm sure. I don't know about with COVID and rules
Yeah.
and stuff. I don't know if they'll be serving food or how that'll work right now.
Yeah.
So, but at least the doors will be open and people can come and dance and of course they'll be wearing a mask, I'm sure. And but that's fun. And next week I'm doing a private one woman show at a local place here in town. And so just,
Yeah.
and then every Tuesday morning with the big band alumni at the Canoga Park Elks Lodge. That's so
Ah,
fun.
Tuesday mornings. Oh, well, shoot. I was thinking, yeah, why aren't I going? And that's because I have the show on
Oh
Tuesdays.
yeah, you can't
Yeah. Yeah,
do can't go
that's too
any
bad.
place.
I'd love to come to that. Yeah, and of course, did you sing with the band that was at the Mexican restaurant in Granada Hills?
Right. Well, that was the big band alumni,
Yeah.
and yes, I used to sing with that band. I sang with that band from 1999 till 2006.
Oh, wow.
So I was singing with 3 big bands at that time, and when I made my big band CD, and I knew people would be mad if I didn't ask them to be on the gig. So I just hired a contractor and had him bring in the musicians. So I have Pete Creasley and Tom Rainier, and we have some fantastic,
This is on the CD, you mean?
some fantastic.
And that was the one that we kind of saw briefly.
Right, that's the one that
Ugh,
jazz.
let's see. So I'm just going to show that picture.
So that band leader was so mad that he asked me to leave the band.
That was good though that you
Yeah,
hired the
I have a
contractor.
phenomenal I have a phenomenal CD, and um, I was innocent in the choice. I didn't have anything to do with them. I'd never met Pete Creasley, and I had worked with Linda Small. She worked on it. Um, I knew Tom Rainier just from Disney years, but
Yeah,
I'd never
yeah.
worked with him.
He's such a great player. You know what? He's playing. I'm going to go see him play at Sam First, actually. Let me tell you when it is, because then
Love to go.
you might want to go. Rainier, hold on. I'm looking at my list. October 27th. So Tom Rainier at Sam First. Yeah, you should go. I'll be there.
What day is that?
October 27th is a Wednesday.
Oh, I can do Wednesdays. Great.
I haven't heard Tom live for so long, and really, he's just
Well,
he's an exquisite, really, truly exquisite player.
well, he was years ago when I mean, I worked for Disney off and on for
Yeah.
years in different shows. Oddly enough, I never worked with him, but he was always talked about and so great at that time. And that was, that was in my early 20s. So, he had a reputation already.
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, because I've been here 40 years and always involved in the jazz community, and he was always, especially in the early years, he was. I think he may have lived. I don't know if he lived up here, but he was working a lot, like in the LA area instead of Orange County. But he was, yeah, he's just such a great player. I want to hear just a little bit. Maybe they won't take me down if I just hear a little bit.
Pardon my southern accent, pardon my southern drawl. It may sound funny, oh, but honey, I love y'all. If you don't like my accent, if you don't like my drawl, well, just stop listening, let's start kissing. I bet you fall.
That's great. So who did you say inspired this record for you?
Oh, no, that my jazz CD was Don Peake inspired me. He said you have
Oh, yeah.
a jazz CD, and unfortunately, it's not on YouTube.
But who made the big band record with you? Or who did someone pay for you, or you paid for it, or?
Yes. Someone said you need to have a CD. We'd like to help you.
Oh, how nice.
I was really blessed. I
Yeah.
still had to. They were so generous with their donations, and then I still had to invest
Yeah.
my own money in it. And but gosh, when they said that, I thought I don't know. I have to make a CD because they said, just tell us how much money you need. So now, I've always had a problem in my life, people wanting to help me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you do it on your own. You don't take anything from anybody. And so it was really hard. And I had signs all over that said receive in my house, which is amazing. And the story is that the lady, the husband and wife, she was wearing a necklace, and I saw this necklace. I was like, wow, that's a beautiful necklace. Then I saw her again, and I said, wow, you've got that necklace on. She goes, here, you should have it. She said, they say if someone compliments you 2 times on something, you should give it to them. Well, I've never heard that, but I did with that necklace. Now I have matching earrings. And so she said, are you still singing with the Sweet and Hot Jazz Festival? And I said, yes. And she said, don't you think you should have a CD? I was like, well, yeah. She goes, I've come into some money. I'd like to help you. And because it was a woman and the husband and wife, really, it wasn't like some creepy man going, I'm gonna make you a star. It wasn't like that. So it was like, huh. And so she said, how much money would you need? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea. So I went to my friend who was just in the process of making a CD, and he said, well, I've spent $4,000, but I probably could have done it for $3,000. So I went back to her and I said, well, he said he's, spent $4,000 probably. She goes, well, if I give you, I don't know, she said $6,000 or $7,000, do you think you could make it? I was like, well, yeah, sure. So then because now I didn't really know this couple very well, but I needed someone to hold my hand because I suddenly felt so naive and lost in the whole, like, whoa, now I had to pick what songs. But actually I was surrounded by enough wonderful people that said, these are the songs that you should do, and this is how you should do it. And she said, I heard Capitol Records is the best place to go. And I was like, Capitol Records? You gotta be kidding. And so I was showing her jazz artists things that, combos and stuff. Say, well, I kind of like this and like that. She goes, oh, no. You need a big band.
Oh, gosh.
With a whole big band. And I said, well, I can't do that with $7,000. She goes, then just tell me how much you need. So, I used Entourage Studio.
Oh, yeah, that was a great
Waterman
studio.
was my,
Yeah.
and he was great. He was recommended because he had just done a recording with Bernadette Peters, who had a big belting voice, and they said, he could nail it for
Yeah.
you. And he did. And Paul McDonald, who'd done so many of my charts, I asked him to be the musical director, and he was great. So Paul kind of held my hand, and we'd go check out the studios and met with Andy. We went to Capitol Records, but I thought, I just fall through the vents there. But I did have it mastered at Capitol Records.
Oh, nice.
And Ron McMasters, which is amazing that he did the mastering and his name was McMasters. And but he was just like, wow, this is like a train running through. You are amazing. And it was like, wow, because you feel like you're such a little person at Capitol Records for someone to compliment you that much with, he's hearing the final product and loving it. And it was that was fantastic. So, I don't remember what the question was while I was talking about this.
The record.
So the people, so that couple, I would say, I need, $5,000 today, and I need, another $6,000 tomorrow, and I need this and that. And I did it through the union, and they gifted me the money and never wanted anything back for it. And then I used my own money for, the cover and the box and the design and then getting it out to radio stations, and you have to send 500 CDs to the promoter and get a promoter. And, there's so much of the business, as you said, your parents didn't tell you how you have to sell yourself and promote and find your gigs, find your own gigs.
Did you find that this particular CD helped you get more work?
Oh my God, it's opened so many doors.
Oh, great.
It really has.
Yeah, that's great.
And I've had to reprint it, and so that was great.
Yeah.
But the sales of CDs now is just not what it was at all.
I know, it's crazy.
Changed. The whole world has changed, and it's hard to keep up. I don't know that I am keeping up.
Yeah, well, I don't know if anyone's keeping up, really. I mean, I guess the pop world is probably keeping up. They got the big machine running, and so there's a lot of people who know what they're doing in that area and who do it with fervor. But for most artists, I think it's just like kind of hit and miss, or I wonder what's happening now. The CD thing is just so odd. You just don't know what to do with it. So it's obviously the only place I really sell CDs is in Japan. So other than that, I'll sell some here, but very few compared. I mean, in Japan, they're still playing CDs, and the people who like jazz are definitely, supporting that. And they also want to have something of you.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
It is sort of a party favor kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is, I worked at Disneyland for years, and I was Slue Foot Sue in the Golden Horseshoe, was where they had the can dancers, and there was the leading lady, Betty Taylor, who she started it in 1955, and I started performing in that show in 1980, which was the 25-year anniversary of Disney. So she did it in the day, I did it at night, and then, but I'd done lots of other shows for Disney before that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was introduced to a woman who has a website that is the original Tinkerbell, and she's 94 years old.
Oh, wow.
She was the model when they were designing Tinkerbell.
Oh.
And she has a website, Tinkerbell.com or something. I'm not sure. But they've asked me to sell my Slue Foot Sue autographed pictures on that. And so then I said, well, and I've got CDs. She's like, oh yeah, we want, and she said, did people that are Disney addicts, that are big Disney fans,
Want that, yeah.
they want that. I was like, okay, great, I got CDs.
That's amazing. And it's called Tinkerbell.
I'm not.
You have to share that with me, because part of the reason is I have a girlfriend who worked for Disney too, but I don't know to the extent that you did, Connie Olson, but she was there was like a Wild West area, and she was one of the Wild West girls, in the saloon.
Okay, she was probably one of the can dancers. Maybe was she a dancer?
I don't think she was a can. I think she had a particular part, like
well,
Sally.
later that show ended in 1994, and then they did bring like in a saloon. They had Billy Hill and the Hillbillies, and then they did have a saloon show where it was kind of a saloon girl singing.
Yeah. Her and Katie Parkin also was in there, and so it's just kind of interesting to connect. That would be a fun connection.
It's amazing that other people, like I said, Cathy, she did Slue Foot Sue in Japan. She had to learn to say things in Japanese. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I actually saw her with, I can't remember the band. But I saw her, because I traveled in Japan a lot as a solo artist. So, but she came with the singer who passed away from cancer. The two of them were with the big band, whose big band I cannot remember, but the big band, it was really interesting. It was a very kind of white bread big band, and the Japanese were crazy about them, totally crazy about them. And it was really interesting to observe, the audience and the show, and I mean, the wildest thing were these two sax players would get up and play unison a line, and that was the wildest thing in the music. Wow,
Audience went wild.
Yeah, they just loved it. Crazy. And guess what? It's been 2 hours.
Oh my God, you're right. It's crazy.
Nancy said in the beginning, she said, 2 hours, I don't know what I'm going to say. Or
There's lots of things I've left out.
Well, we'll have to do it again. Thanks, Nancy, for being on, for sharing 2 hours. It's really nice of you. And I'm glad we got to do it, on a special Thursday, live. So it's great, Oh, she froze, but it's a really good picture that froze, isn't it? Wow, it's a long freeze. Wow. Okay. I'm sure she'll pop back in, but what a cute picture. I should probably take a picture of that, because man, it's cute. Oh, darn. Oh, there she is. She popped back in before I had a chance. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, what was so interesting? You froze, and the picture was gorgeous. And before I could capture the screenshot, you went away. Well, you're gorgeous anyway. You have a great smile.
Thank you, Cathy. You're so beautiful too, and it was nice to have that picture of the two of us together. That we were able
that was very nice.
Which Yeah, I should do a screenshot of us here too, just for.
All right, we'll do a screenshot. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, I got it. I'll send it to you.
Great.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to just tell people that I will have a post from the archives Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Carmen Bradford, talk about singing with big bands and stuff. She's so wonderful singer. So that's Friday. And Saturday, a wonderful singer who most of her career has been background singer, and she's extremely versatile, and she's been on a million things. Her name is Paulette McWilliams. And Sunday, a great, especially great swing player, Bradley Young.
I love Bradley. Bradley's great.
Yeah, so he's on Sunday. And then next week, for the live people, I will be having Nestor Torres, who's a award-winning flutist. He's really wonderful. And then Tuesday, Ben Schultz, who some people might know Ben. He's a drummer, and he's also a PR person.
Wow.
He's the guy you hire to get out to radio. And then Wednesday, an old friend of mine who I call him the jazz poet, but he's a spoken word poet who's older. He's been doing it forever. And he also was extremely involved with the musicians from The Doors.
Oh, wow.
And he did projects with them. He's really interesting. His name is Michael C. Ford. And he loves jazz too. So those are my live guests next week.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so people can always go and, look on my website, right? Cathy Segal-Garcia. Thank you so much. And
Cathy, I have a website. It's nancyosborne.net. And I have all my upcoming gigs on there. So people can go and follow that. And so they'll know where to go for the street fair. And
oh, great. That's helpful
morning.
to know. Yeah, that you keep up on it. You keep up on your website.
I hire someone.
I hire someone to build it and give me a part that I can keep changing, so that I keep changing, whatever's coming up,
Yeah, I give him absolute control of it, which is nice that I don't have to. I still have to let him know all the jobs because he happens to be in Paris, France.
Cool.
But such a talented. I love my website. It's just amazing what he's done. So that's so all those everything that's coming up is all listed there.
Okay, great.
Thank you, and hopefully I'll see you on the October 27th with Tom Renee.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow or whenever. And thanks, Nancy, again. Mwah. Thank you so much.